Monday, December 9th, 2024. Ms. Rush, if you'll do the roll call.
Mayor Simpson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mormon.
Here.
Councilmember Ambrose.
Here.
Councilmember Davis.
Here.
Councilmember Pfeiffer.
Here.
Councilmember Marriott.
Here.
All right, thank you so much. We have one workshop this evening, and that is going to be our Infrastructure Work System Annual Report, and I will turn it over to Director of Utilities, Ms. Sharon Israel.
Good evening, Mayor, members of Council. It's a delight to be here this evening to talk about our second annual Infrastructure Work System Report. The purpose of this evening is to talk about our accomplishments this year. We've been working hard to use our resources wisely and assign our teams to meet the priorities of the City Council strategic plan. So we're going to talk about how we're doing that. Next slide, please. Actually, I can do it too. Thanks, Candace. All right. Thanks for being there for me, though. Okay, so tonight we're going to do a quick overview of the work system. Again, we're going to talk about the city's strategic plan and the alignment with the work that we're doing. And then in the strategic plan, it identifies 9 work system services and infrastructure. So we're going to give you some highlights on what those are, how we're connecting some of the implementation principles that are in the strategic plan, and how we're doing some of internal planning as well to advance what the council's asked us to do. And then we will wrap up. So just one quick slide on the infrastructure work system. In the 2025 budget, there are 135 FTE in the Public Works Department and just over 113 in the Utilities Department. So overall, the city is about 775. So the infrastructure work system, if you do the math, is about 1/3 of the city's workforce. We're comprised of 9 divisions that include streets, facilities, engineering, water treatment, water operations, wastewater, stormwater operations, fleet services, utility services, which provides frontline customer service and billing support and manages our waste hauling contract with Republic Services, and then our utilities business team, which manages our finances and our water rights portfolio and operations. Combined, our fiscal year 25 budget for operating is just over $182 million, which is about half of the city's overall operating budget. I'm going to ask the leaders here from the work system to raise your hand tonight. You'll be hearing from some of them. Yeah, thank you, Brenton. I knew you were back there. Okay. So really appreciate the representation tonight. And again, you'll be hearing from me a little bit, and then we'll be taking turns through the rest of the presentation. So an important message that we want you all to take home tonight is that the work that we do in these service areas is tied through a golden thread from each individual contributor of our work system all the way up to the City Council strategic plan. And in fact, one of the activities that Jacqueline and I have planned for tomorrow afternoon is to meet with all the managers within the work system and talk about exactly this. We're going to be talking about the golden thread in the strategic plan. So I'm sharing that with you because it's something that we are talking about. This version of the strategic plan is relatively newly adopted this year, and we're working really hard to make sure that we're honoring that direction from the council and tying it all the way down to individual staff assignments. Something else here that I want to make sure that you all see in our presentation is that we are really embracing those 5 implementation principles the council gave us. That is being customer focused. A lot of the work we do is outward facing with the public. We're very data driven and driven by actually results that show that we're providing great levels of service to the community. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. A culture of safety. We talk about everybody going home safe at the end of the day. And last is adaptive and resilient. And as council may recall, in the last couple of months, the sustainability program moved over into the infrastructure work system. And sustainability, we're not talking about it separately today. We're talking about it in the context of that adaptive and resilient part of our work. So I also want to take a moment and thank the council for your support enabling us to do all of this. That includes prioritizing this work in the council's strategic planning, helping us talk about level of service and the revenue requirements that go with that, and helping us make decisions on where we want to be as a city in terms of service provision. Providing resources through the budget process. We have many times that we've come back and talked to you about that this past year, and appreciate your support. And then also through our conversations with the council on workshops and other policy discussions we've had, helping direct and guide our work. So I'm going to start jumping in with the first of those 9 work system services. So the first one, it's in the City Council Strategic Plan as INF1, is where we talk about the core work of providing safe, resilient, high-quality water supply, wastewater services, drainage for stormwater and solid waste services for full city build-out. And that includes maintaining the lowest practical rates that we can in order to provide that resilient infrastructure. And so here are some photos of some components of the work we do, everything from pump stations that pump water. We've got Arvada reservoir storing water, drinking water, and then again, that's one of the, I think the first pickups that Republic did was here in Arvada a few years ago. So accomplishments under water supply this year, the team's been making progress on a raw water supply master plan. So what that's doing is looking holistically at our entire water supply portfolio, looking at estimates of where we think demand will be in the future. We've completed a demand study in the last year or two and tying now supply side to that. And what you see here in these photos is a really important part of our water supply future, which is the expansion of Gross Reservoir. So these are photos that we were taken recently in the last couple of months as construction's been ongoing over at the Gross Reservoir site. And what they're doing right now is building up from the base of the existing dam up to the top of the existing dam, and then they will go above that in the year ahead. Oh, yes, please.
Quickly, and I apologize, I didn't realize you were still continuing your sentence. Would you, or maybe Ms. Morris, you be able to give us just a quick highline of what the latest federal ruling regarding the court ruling regarding Gross Reservoir means for us?
I don't have that information with me today, but I can absolutely get something to council that summarizes the latest legal determinations on those cases.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. And while that is being evaluated over the winter months, there is a planned delay in construction because it's winter time. And so there's kind of a natural break in the construction schedule while some of that's being sorted out. As a reminder, this is a critical part of the Arvada's future water supply. We're 1/6 financial partner in the project, and we're also expecting about 1/6 of the overall firm yield from this project. And that's a deal that was struck over a decade ago, and to see this project moving forward is a culmination of literally decades of water supply planning that will get us into the future. Also in this work system service is water treatment and distribution. And so what you can see on this slide is actually a snip from the city's website. We've been working on preparing an update with some metrics and successes from the past year. Some of this data is also available in the latest version of the Arvada report. We did a nice, colorful full page in the Arvada report that includes some of these highlights as well as an overall year in review for the infrastructure work system. So just want to pause and give a shout out for our website where you can see this information, and also in the Arvada report. So some of the metrics here, over 1 billion gallons of water used, We flushed 164 miles of water mains. We maintained over 3,000 fire hydrants, and I could go on. But this is really a testament to the work day in and day out that our team does to make sure that the water that we're supplying at the tap is tastes good, it's high levels of water quality, and it's, again, resilient and reliable for our customers. A couple things that I wanted to share with you as far as updates this year. One of them is not good news. This year we received a violation at the Arvada plant for monitoring water quality at an incorrect location within the plant. Part of the reason for this is that it came from regulatory requirements that had changed since the Arvada plant was built, and our plant just wasn't designed for the newer regulations. So this year we worked closely with our state regulators to retrofit a sampling location, so we're back in their good graces. But that's only in the short term, understanding that the long-term plan is ultimately to replace the Arvada plant. So this is a violation that will be published in an upcoming annual report. That'll be a regulatory requirement for us. Had nothing to do with whether there was safe water leaving the plant, but it was a matter that we brought in the state engineers to help consult with us and came to a good resolution. Another highlight I want to point out is that the council approved this year lead service line replacement program. So we're working with all the customers, residents and homeowners around the city to identify who may have a service line with some component of lead in it. We haven't found any lead service lines, but we have found galvanized service lines that are enough of a health risk that we're replacing all of those. So we want to thank the council for your support on that program that's really advancing public health for the community. So if you look on this slide, you'll see there's two tabs. Again, this is from our website. So this is the water tab. If you're on our website, you could click and go to sewer and stormwater and see some of the other cool metrics we have. We inspected 190,000 feet of sewer. We actually run cameras into the sewer line to inspect them, look for condition of the pipe itself. We look for root intrusion. We look for anything that might potentially cause a blockage of sewage and then back up and cause problems with sewage coming into places it doesn't belong. We also did a major upgrade of a lift station that's helping support planned development out on the west side of town. That's funded through a partnership with the development community, so the growth was paying for itself. And then, as the council may recall, we did some work this year to justify a couple of new positions for the team that's responsible for this, partly because we were having to divert resources from especially stormwater inspection and maintenance to be responsive to the utility locate demands that are also managed from this team. And so we got over 26,000 requests through 811 for utility locates. So again, that continues to be a high demand for us. And now with the new positions that the council approved in 2025, we'll be able to support improved inspection frequency and maintenance. And what that means is that we'll be able to be more accurate in terms of forecasting our capital project needs. It also means that we will be able to predict where higher risk areas are and hopefully prevent any kind of flooding or backflow from backups from happening. Some of the other work we've done this year is continuing to strengthen our underground damage prevention. That's been a really important part of our work the last couple of years. The council may recall that we've had boring contractors come through and actually hit some of our underground infrastructure, and some of them repair it right away and take responsibility, and some of them do not. And so having a robust program where we've got a lead who's working on that prevention aspect of it and follow up on the utility side, working with the engineering inspectors, we're starting to get that reputation, which I think we should have, which is we are quick to react if there is a problem, and we hold the contractors responsible if they do hit some of our infrastructure to actually pay for that repair. Now a slide on solid waste management. So here's a couple of photos from our very popular event, bulky item drop-off. And so for our Arvada residents, you can come and a couple times a year drop off anything from, in this case, some toilets to, in the other picture, mattresses. We get an astonishing amount of mattresses getting recycled each year. The 2023-2024 data includes July 23 through June of 24, with 1,200 mattresses recycled as part of this program. We also have leaf recycling events that continue to be popular. We just wrapped up ours this year. As part of the sustainability program, becoming part of the infrastructure work system, we're also working on a waste diversion action plan now within our department. So it provides really great alignment between the grant-funded waste diversion action plan and our core services for solid waste management. And per council's direction earlier this year, we're also currently reviewing ordinances, the current contract with Republic Services, and our fee structures. So more to come from that in 2025. This is my last slide, and then I'll pass it on to the next member of the team. But as a reminder, we take very seriously the direction in the strategic plan to provide services at the lowest practical rates. And so as the council's aware, each year we do provide options for water, sewer, and stormwater rates, even with some aggressive rate increases the last few years. As you can see from this chart, which might look familiar to you from previous workshops in 2024, those two kind of maroon bars right in the middle are where Arvada, the options for Arvada's rates this year into 2025 compared to other of our neighboring communities. And so if you look at water rates, we're still very much right in the middle compared to where other communities are. And we believe we are providing the lowest practical rates, and we'll continue to pay very close attention to what any future adjustments that we may be bringing to the council.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes, thank you for this, Ms. Israel. As you know, I love this stuff. I was wondering, would the team be open to parsing out wastewater from stormwater? And the only reason I say that is because they're two different types of waters. One flows right to the waters of the U.S., and the other has to go through a treatment facility. And I'd like the public to kind of understand that if we put them together, people will think our stormwater goes to treatment, and we all know that doesn't happen. So if you're open to it, that would be my suggestion. Thank you.
Thanks for that feedback. Absolutely. I think that's a great point, that the terminus of those two different sets of pipes are very different. One goes to a wastewater treatment plant in Denver, that's Metro Water Recovery, and then the other goes to the environment. So thank you.
That allows people to think about when they're washing things into the gutter, that it's actually going out into Ralston Creek or the nearest creek where they live, and it's not going to Metro Water Recovery for any kind of pollutant removal.
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, well, if you don't have any more questions for me, I'm going to hand it off to, I believe Kim Vager is next, and he's going to talk about the next set of work system services. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City members, City Council members. I'll be talking about the work system number 2, and let's see, let me advance. Hopefully I'm hitting the right button. Yeah, work system number 2. Invest in and maintains resilient, accessible, and environmentally efficient city facilities and fleet vehicles. So next slide, I'll give you this is our asset planner that we utilize here in facilities to keep track of our buildings. As you can see, we have just under 1 million square feet, and that's 100 facilities. So next year we'll be moving up to 100 from 22 facilities. We're adding utilities and the parks and golf facilities to our portfolio. So we'll be maintaining an additional 78 facilities. Thank you to City Council for an additional FTE on the HVAC technician to help us maintain those facilities. Average age, we're just over 40 years on those 100 facilities. Replacement value is estimated at $500 million, and that's an average of $500 a square foot. The 2023 FCI's, the Facility Cost Index, was 5.8, so that's about fair. As you can see up there in the chart, it's in the yellow. In 2024, it's not on the slide here, we just got the numbers in. We spent $1.41 million in our asset planner program, and we spent $1.41 million and a couple of pennies, Brian. We're real close to budget. And, but the big news here is it lowered our FCI to 4.8. So we're now in the green. So we've lowered it by that much, and that goes across the whole portfolio. So that gets us out of the critical stage for another till about 2040. So big improvement, and that continues. So our backlog is 21.7 million. It's figured over the next 14 years. So funding is about 1.55 million per year that's required to keep us on that path. Of course, the buildings are getting older as we go, and that's what's going to be causing us to still continue to climb. The 2025 budget in 01 and 55 funds is just over 1.9 million. So we have a 1.9 million to spend next year, and we'll be working hard to spend all that money. The next slide is for facilities. This year we had 110 projects beside major projects, and 50 of those projects were completed. The big one being the Arvada Aquatic Center, 50,000 square feet, had a budget of 45 million. We're likely, very highly likely to achieve Leadership in Engineering and Environmental Design, Silver certification. So major accomplishment for that facility and the energy use that's in that building. So worked hard to get that certification. I feel very comfortable that we're going to get it. That project was completed in a short 18 months, 2 months for the temporary parking lot and 15 months for the actual construction of the building and the new parking lot. The next project that we're currently in the process of is the new police evidence building. We're in the design development phase. We're going to be closing it out tomorrow, and we'll be heading into the construction development phase. That project too is going to be under LEED Silver standards, as City Council has directed on all of our new projects. And this one's going to include a hybrid HVAC electrification process. So normally we'll be running on electric, and if we run into severe conditions, then we're going to back it up with gas. So very interesting concept there that we utilized with the HVAC designer. It'll also be solar ready, but probably will not have a budget to put the solar on the roof. The facility is going to be about 12,000 square feet, single bay. It'll be a high bay facility, so we can get in the 16-foot racks for evidence storage and utilize the high bay space for that. Next project that we completed this year was with Xcel Energy. The Arvada Center microgrid was completed in September and is in full operation. That microgrid will back up the Arvada Center in a power outage for over 8 hours. So a major improvement to the center that had no backup power, and also a place for people to, if we have an extended power outage, they can also seek help there. The Xcel Energy cost for the project was $4.6 million. We were selected for this project in 2020 out of 7 different sites in Colorado. The city cost on this project was $0. The other one that we completed was the Transit Hub. It's going on 7 years old. We did a structural inspection of the entire garage, and that came out and with positive results. Installed 37 cameras on all the floors for visibility and protection. Sealed the upper deck with a traffic coating for preventative maintenance on the entire garage. And we also installed, sorry, hang on one second. And then we're in the process of putting new lighting. So I think there's been some complaints about the lighting. Our lighting system that was designed is beginning to fail, and it's unrepairable, so we got new lighting going into the entire garage. Temporary lights have been installed, so it's a lot brighter than it's been the last couple of months. The last project here is the EV charging infrastructure that we're putting in to support our electric vehicles. We currently have 35 total charging ports for City Hall, Parks Fleet, Indiana Old Town Transit Hub, Webster Lot, and the Arvada Center. That grant from the Colorado Energy Office is about $175,000 that we'll get. The project total right now is $840,000. And then we also, just last week, a week ago today, applied for a rebate program that just came out from Xcel Energy that could yield $200,000 to $500,000 in savings. So, and by the way, we're the first ones to apply. Got
Well
some
done.
inside information.
Mayor Pro Tem Mormon.
Thank you for your report, and I'm excited to hear all the new sustainability developments that you shared with our infrastructure. I had two questions. One is on the microgrid at the Arvada Center. Do you see there's opportunities, with funding and stuff to try microgrids in other parts of our facilities?
I do see that there's opportunities. I know there's other cities looking at what we did there, and yeah, I do believe there is. The caution would be that Xcel is going to be putting in microgrids too. So, I think it would be money well spent or not spent if we wait to see what they're doing.
Okay, that's good.
And
Good to know.
I think they're going to, they're looking at critical facilities to put the microgrids in first. And we got a couple we got here at City Hall that could use a microgrid as well.
Great. Well, I hope we be the first in line with Excel then to try to get that. Appreciate that. And then on the EV fleet, so what is our plan for expansion of our EV fleet?
So I was just talking to my director on that. We're looking to bring in a consultant for expansion. And then, of course, we're working with Fleet on their program, which I'm going to be presenting their slide on the telematics, and working for that demand load as well on the EVs. So it could be a charging station with level 3s that we put on both sides of the city. We need to try to figure that one out. We could, to support our fleet of vehicles, 800 vehicles with EV chargers, that's way too many chargers. They need to, be a gas station type and pull in and get a charge, 15, 20-minute charge, and then move on. And so that's kind of what we're looking at, but we're going to try to get some help on that.
Awesome. Good to hear. Thank you.
All right. And then speaking of the City Hall now, we have double fed from Xcel Energy on the normal power. We've had a few power outages, and now we're being fed from 2 different distribution networks. So we have doubled our power resiliency. So hopefully that generator will not have to start up anymore. So it's going to be a major improvement. I get in trouble every time that generator runs. Then tonight I'm also reporting for the Fleet Division tonight on their programs. The telematics is one of the big improvements there. They got the grant from Xcel Energy for the Fleet Electrification Advisory Program in 2022, and they just completed the Geotab telematics on most of the vehicles, if not all of them, except for a few. And I got to think that the few that are going out of retirement are the ones they're not doing it on. The telematics will help improve the overall fleet maintenance as well as the safety of the staff in our community. Telematics also will identify the replacement vehicles that are best suited for electrification depending on several factors, including the overall savings. Inflation was greatly impacted the vehicle replacement fund. Last year, City Council approved a one-time $1 million fund to help offset these increases, and it really helped out tremendously, especially on vehicles that had gone up so much in price. The tandem plows for streets, the turf equipment and trucks for parks, utility trucks for water operations, and a vac truck for wastewater. They also are realizing the total life cycle cost savings in electrical vehicles and are pursuing the EV tax credits now available for the municipalities. So those funds will help offset the future purchase price of EVs. And then finally, on that finance program, Fleet and Finance have made adjustments to the Internal Services Fund to help compensate for the shortfalls in the long range and the increases that's going to be reflected in the 2025 budget.
Thank you. Councilmember Marriott, you had your light on first.
How does a municipality get a tax credit for EV vehicles when we don't pay taxes?
Good question for Brian.
I don't have that answer for you, Councilmember Marriott.
Okay.
I can get that answer for you.
Thank you.
But they are available, I do know that.
All right. Councilmember Pfeiffer.
Yeah, at least my last experience, they just take it off the price of the vehicle, and the dealer keeps the credit. That's probably what happens.
Depends on if you buy that off a state bid or not and what negotiations you have, but ultimately that's one of the options. Rachel also brought out that sometimes you're allowed to sell those credits, but we haven't done that here at the city.
Yeah. So one question, you mentioned something, and I just want to make sure I'm clear. We're not going for 100% EV fleet, right? Because like the police department, I would not advocate. State Patrol started using them, and they quickly realized that they absolutely cannot use EVs for what they need it for.
You're absolutely correct.
So we're not going to go 100%, but we're going to try to get the appropriate fleets through your telematic, the ones that are best suited for them, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I just want to
So,
make sure.
you know, right now we're looking at sedans and the Ford Lightning.
Yeah.
But that's the only vehicles right now that are proven to be effective.
For administrative or even the engineers and stuff.
Correct.
I mean, but people that have to floor it, break it, floor it, you know, they'll burn the battery out like in 2 seconds.
That's correct.
It's gone.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, definitely not 100%. Currently, Fleet is adding 10 hybrid police interceptors before the end of this year. And then we'll be adding 8 to 10 more EVs to our current fleet of 6 electric vehicles. And then the last issue here, or the last initiative, which I think is really cool, is the Fleet Services recently collaborated with IT data analytics team to develop a Power BI dashboard display in the maintenance shop, BI being business intelligence. These dashboards are synchronized to the fleet maintenance software program faster and monitor metrics such as vehicle repair, scheduling, and technician productivity. The tool will help improve workload management and shop efficiency for better vehicle uptime and availability for city staff. And I think that's a major improvement. It's pretty cool that we don't have the screenshot here, but what IT and Fleet came up with is a very interesting feature for that program. So that's all I have for City Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ken. Welcome, Ms. Rhodes.
Thank you. I'm going to talk a little bit about infrastructure number 3, maintaining our existing roads and transportation network in tandem with snow and ice control. So I wanted to start, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our transportation metrics also with INF number 4, but I wanted to start by talking about our snow program. This is really a city team effort. It's a core service, and I just want to recognize that voted by their colleagues on the snow teams, which are comprised from Public Works, Utilities, and VCN team members, were voted Team of the Year last year. There was a recognition of the contributions of that team. So recognizing the importance of this service, leaders across our departments are working on one citywide snow operations plan. We're really excited about this because it defines our level of service across our buildings, our parking lots, our priority roads, trails. we really want one comprehensive document to how we're staffing these needs and talking about our levels of service. Also, aligning some of our transportation services, we've been looking to do more alignment across the departments and divisions. So earlier this year, some of our traffic field crew members moved into our streets division, which not only streamlines our ability to respond to needs out on the system, but also supports the snow program.
I have a quick question. I don't think I've ever seen it, but out of our total budget, how much of the budget goes to just the snow program on an average year? Do you know? If not, you can get it later, but.
I'll look it up and get that to you, or I'm looking to phone a friend if possible, but I will get you that number.
Yeah, because 16 storms, I mean, people don't realize there's overtime. Like I said, all these other crews pulling together. The cost of salt is extremely expensive sometimes. But it would be interesting to know is that 30% of your maintenance budget is going towards snow removal, which people need to be aware of, the fact that that's not going in repairing the road. It's just making sure that you can drive on the road. And that's a different expense. And I don't know if we've ever highlighted that the weather creates an expense that erodes our maintenance budgets.
Yeah, and thank you for making that point. Our streets manager works closely with finance to ensure that our summer maintenance budget and our winter snow and ice control budget are balanced. Actually, in 2024, council was able to fund some additional work on the summer maintenance, the street maintenance side. Again, that better supported the balance of both those services. So I'll follow up with more details on the actual costs of materials. And as you mentioned, these are multi-day storms, lots of overtime, a big resource commitment. Hence why we wanted to acknowledge not only the Team of the Year component, but I was surprised you didn't ask about the snow bonus, which again, we're very grateful for. That additional compensation for our snow teams was approved in the 2025 budget for us to be able to acknowledge the work of those teams.
Yeah, that's great. Quick question, maybe Brian, over time, maybe through the fabric of the budget, maybe somehow highlight, because this is a variable that city council and the staff have no control over. You could have 32 storms and eat up 60% of our budget. And I think this is just a blind spot that I think, not that we can control it, but be aware of. So that when you are asking for money in the summer for potholes or crack sealing or whatever, we reflect that there were 16 storms and it cost us X amount of money. That eroded X amount of our budget. So it might be good to start relating that to when you have asks back to that.
Thank you. We'll definitely provide that data. I also want to acknowledge we take our preparedness very seriously. So we're carefully working with our partner agencies, following forecasting and regional weather calls. And again, we don't want to be in a position of being under-resourced to respond. And so we use data and again, working with our regional partners to make sure that we're ready. So I'll hit some more of the streets maintenance activities also under INF4, which innovates safe, accessible, and efficient connections to all modes of transportation. And I wanted to just hit a few highlights here. Street sweeping, we track the number of miles of street sweeping. We target or try and benchmark 6 to 7 passes of our entire roadway network per year, and we're able to show that 6 passes here. Potholes filled. So again, how much does this number mean? Well, I think what's important here is that this is a part of our customer service approach, and our team is able to be as responsive as possible, weather permitting if it's winter months, but in responding to customers that report issues. We're going to talk a little bit more about the pavement program and some of the upcoming results. So you also are very familiar with a lot of our data because we came and presented in a November workshop on what some of the program needs were and what some of the metrics were that we were able to accomplish in 2024. And then, of course, across traffic, we're going to hear a little bit more about signal maintenance master plans and some of the work happening there with our transportation system plan. But I wanted to focus a little bit on shared micromobility and some of those initiatives. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, and we're actually scheduled to come back in the spring to present the results of the Shared Micromobility Program. The pilot was launched in 2022, and we continue to track data as Council directed us to continue the work there and gather more data. We've seen a major uptick in trips since switching from Bird to Lime as a primary vendor, and we're excited to share that report with you. I also wanted to talk about trail counts. So we have the ability, we partner with our VCN team and our traffic and transportation teams are monitoring trail counts, trail use counts. We also have a data bike that we've deployed to gather data across our entire trails network in terms of the rideability and conditions so that we can go out and be more targeted in our planning and in our repairs. All of this is going into a GIS storyboard to help communicate to publicly all the work we're doing with shared micromobility, trail connections, and some of our innovative data collection. I put in a photo of the hub. We've had some conversations around wayfinding and some of the challenges there. Kim talked a little bit about the maintenance projects around the hub, but we're also working to try and improve visibility and wayfinding to the hub. So under INF 5, we apply cost-effective and timely engineering, planning, and design construction practices and have established standards and specifications to align our infrastructure reinvestment capacity with our community needs. In the past, we've definitely focused when presenting on this service by talking about our roadway bond projects, talking about our engineering standards and how we go in and update those. And we'll continue to do that. We update our engineering standards every few years, and we have an approved product list that we're able to keep current with today's practices. But I also wanted to highlight a couple of other engineering projects. So of course you're familiar with the roadway bond projects and where we're at with those. On this prior picture, I wanted to just show the Ralston Creek project. We were able to repurpose this pedestrian bridge in the future Gold Strike project and working across our floodplain, engineering, and VCN teams, trying to be as innovative as we can when we know we needed to do some flood mitigation improvements in this area and repurpose that bridge. Speaking of other bridge improvements, we've advanced our guardrail and bridge maintenance plans and continue to put that into our asset management philosophy. We just showed a photo here of the improved rails along the Alkire Bridge. We already talked a little bit about pavement, and I'm going to talk about ADA here in a moment, but I also wanted to feature a few other things that our engineering teams are focused on, and that's customer service. So one of it's the way we communicate our permit requirements, not only to our contractors, but through the public website. When we were here in 2023 and we talked about the American Public Works Association reaccreditation process that we were really proud to share last year, this was marked as a model practice for the city of Arvada that APWA commended us on. Well, we continue to work on that. We continue to improve those permitting requirements to streamline the process and improve the customer service experience. I'm stealing Jessica Gardner's tagline here, but really the year of the customer is something we've been focused on. And whether it be through our development engineering reviews, we're really working across work systems and departments to improve that. Internally, we've developed we're advancing a capital improvement project permitting process. So again, we're holding ourselves accountable to the same standards we would our contractors and making sure that our capital projects are well coordinated across the city teams. And also, I'm excited to say that in the innovation principle, we've updated and streamlined our infrastructure acceptance and warranty process. So over the past few years, we've taken from municipal inspector daily handwritten logs, quantity calculations, and we're doing everything on Surface Pros with Bluebeam, allowing near real-time quantities, progress updates, and inspection reports to be available within the Trackit system. So I'm really proud of some of the work that our permitting and municipal inspections teams have led there. Talking about INF 6, develop, advance, and implement systems of asset management. This was a new one in this city council strategic plan, and we do it in a number of different ways across our teams. Everything from spreadsheets to specialty softwares. I have, you heard an example of our Faster program and the integration with our IT team doing the dashboards to help us make better decisions for our fleet. You've heard a little bit about it with our road matrix program and some of the information that our teams have presented to you in workshops around the condition of our streets network and how we're making decisions. I have another snippet example from our long-term planning database across all of our utility systems, where we're tracking age, condition, and risk of failure of those assets and helping us make good decisions around which infrastructure to prioritize next. And Kim presented some data on the facilities condition index in our asset planner system that helps us make good decisions around our building maintenance and capital improvement needs there. So much to come, but I'd say under effective utility management best practices, we still have room to improve. We can really streamline the software that we're using and seek to further innovate here. I should have mentioned our city work system that's already linked to GIS that also helps us with some reporting. So those are just a few examples of things that our teams are using to help make good decisions today. So INF 7 is ensuring compliance with federal and state regulations, including environmental laws and the Americans with Disabilities Act. And I wanted to acknowledge that in the previous City Council strategic plan, we had been wanting to advance more work on our environmental programs. Currently, many of these services are decentralized and supported through various departments. And we want to do more work there to benchmark, review our codes, think more about where does air pollution protection, are some of our other environmental services, where should those live? I believe in the future we'll be looking at an environmental management system type approach to have a more structured and robust kind of centralize some of our work here. The teams do an excellent job. Many of our stormwater teams support some of these functions today in terms of air quality, spill containment, et cetera. But there's more work to do here. And I have to make a plug for our next workshop coming up in January. We developed our ADA transition plan in 2019 and presented some of the findings of that work in 2020. Well, we're going to 2025, so it's time to talk to council about what progress we've made, what changes we need to see, and what does the next iteration and update to our transition plan look like. So just wanted to make a plug for that workshop coming. We're also going to talk a little bit about digital accessibility and provide the council some updates there. At this point, I'd love to pause and pass it to our next team members to talk a little bit about our aligned master plans.
Welcome, Ms. Stahl.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline. Good evening, councilors and mayor. I promise not to go on too much. You guys know I can when I'm talking about master planning, particularly around utilities. So INF 8 is basically using master plans to inform our work. And I love this because planning identifies what our needs are. It identifies and gives us the way to prioritization. It gives us the timing of the need, and then all of that wraps up into what is our financial need and when. And it's not just utilities. If we move clockwise on these pictures, we actually have pavement, sidewalks, drainage, and then the sanitary sewer master plan. So I am here to talk specifically about utilities, because those are really fun, and you guys know I love that. But the master planning work started in 2019, really, and that came from council and asked us to look at master plans across what I would consider like bigger picture, meaning we started with the water treatment plants, and that was really around condition. We also started about that same time with the distribution system. That was quickly followed by sanitary sewer and stormwater. And then we delved a little bit deeper on some things that were a little more focused, including demand forecasting and finished water storage. And then in the last year and a half, Sharon alluded to this, we have taken a deep dive into the raw water side. And there was money allotted for that, and we chose to actually break it up into two separate projects. And that's because they were very, very different. One side was raw water, our water resources. What water resources people like to say, wet water. That term drives my husband nuts, by the way. He's like, water's water. I'm like, no, it's not. There's paper water and there's wet water. But the The water resources side is finishing up in the next few weeks to couple of months, and that really what we started with, updating a 20-plus-year-old model. And that model incorporates all the changes that have happened, and also incorporates, remember that demand forecasting I just mentioned? Also incorporates that. And it will allow our water resources team to play a lot of what-if games, and we're super excited about it. In fact, we're talking about it tomorrow morning. The second part of the raw water side is the infrastructure side. Okay, we have water. How do we get it to where we need, meaning the treatment plants? And we wrapped that up in the third quarter, and we are rolling those recommendations into the planning and budgeting. And that's around the pump stations and the pipes and Arvada Reservoir and the actual physical pieces and parts. As I noted, the master plans help us with prioritization and financially to figure out our rates and fees. And we do thank Council for your support over the years on those rates and fees that allow us to move forward on the needs that have been identified. But some examples of what we've gotten done this year, Zephyr Tank. That's the one on the right. The storage master plan identified that we were deficient right now, actually have been deficient for some time in Zone 5, which is our first pump zone. And timing on this was critical. It was needed now. And so we took a little bit different approach on this tank than we have historically. We had teeth in ground, meaning we broke ground in May, and in November we were leak testing. That's 6 months. It was super fast, and it was super fun and really challenging. We are very close to actually putting it into service. The Arvada Water Treatment Plant Replacement Facility, that's the picture on the left. That is the pilot plant, and we are wrapping that up. We actually returned the leased equipment to the manufacturer last week, and we should have that report within the next couple of months on the processes to move forward with. And that was about a year's worth of work. And then the bond work on the sanitary side, that planning work did allow us to do prioritization. As I've talked before, we're not building it in the traditional way. We're tackling the highest risk needs first. The Davis Lane and the Danny Kendrick projects are within a couple of months of being completed. And then Sheridan and Tennyson were on the agenda last week, with Sheridan expecting to start in a couple months, and we're crossing fingers on Tennyson also starting in a couple of months. And then the piping that takes the discharge from Alkire, we're hoping to bid that in January or February. We do have 100% designs at this point, so we just have a couple things to button up before we put it out to bid. And with that, I am passing it off to Chris to talk about transportation.
Welcome, Mr. Lisberg.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I do want to chime in here with Mary's love affair with master planning. We share that as well in transportation, and even more so, we love sustainable funding. So let me start at the top here with the Transportation System Plan and Pavement Management Plan. I'm going to have some brevity here as we just workshopped this with you over the last month, but know that we look forward to completion of those efforts in the first half of next year. Moving on to Avon, it's a little bit on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. Our Arvada fiber optic network has been master planned out about 8 years ago now, and since then we've installed 51 miles of fiber throughout the city. We did have some downtime this past year as our contractor shut its doors, but we are back up and running now with a new contractor as of November. And during our on time, we were able to complete connectivity on 86th Parkway as well as 80th Avenue. And we're looking forward to in 2025 having full connectivity down 72nd as well. Looking to the future of that program, the goals include expanding coverage, enhancing network redundancy and resiliency, and exploring emerging technologies when it comes to plugging in and utilizing the network to its fullest potential with other divisions and departments throughout the city. You also see listed here is our traffic signal maintenance plan. This is currently in draft form being reviewed by the city team members. The basis of this was really a comprehensive inventory of all of our traffic signal infrastructure out there in the field. It's really provided some key insights into our technological deficiencies and our remaining lifespan of some of our, or of all of our assets out there in the field. In 2025, we intend to focus on signal connectivity. That'll obviously come with cooperation and collaboration through the AFON work, as well as improving signal timing throughout the network with an emphasis on synchronization of how the system as a whole is working together. This will also allow for real-time adjustments and observations of the functionality of our system, as well as being able to make those adjustments on the fly as needed, hopefully contributing to better flow of the network, as well as better travel times throughout the city. A few other noteworthy items that aren't listed here is the work on our bridge assets. We have completed this past year structural repairs on 7 of our bridges, as well as preventative maintenance by our streets department on a good chunk of our bridges. In 2025, we're looking forward to getting inspections of an approximately 100 of our minor structures, and that is probably one of the remaining stepping stones for us to build out a bridge asset management plan here in the future. Much like the traffic signal maintenance plan, we do have in draft form a guardrail management plan as well, which is looking to proactively maintain and upgrade our important safety assets, guardrail, around the city.
Sounds good. Councilmember Pfeiffer.
Yes, sir. Just one little item, not quite to a planning level effort, but we have done an inventory and forecasting of our rail crossings throughout the city. That is not a maintenance obligation of the city, but of the railroads, but there is a cost share associated with that. So we've begun work on estimating or establishing how old the crossings are throughout the city, as well as estimating when their approximate replacement will be necessary with those costs that we need to plan for. And of course, we've also begun collaboration with the railroad companies to understand what their maintenance plan is as well. That's it.
So you mentioned a couple things. One, the traffic signal maintenance plan, absolutely needed. I think our signals have degraded even more so over the last decade than they have. And I appreciate the fact that you recognize the deficiency. It's frustrating, I'll tell you tonight when I drive home, 86 Parkway, by Mark Devin's house, I can tell you, randomly turns red and I'm the only guy sitting there and they're pulled up and the left arrow goes green. And
I have plausible deniability not knowing where he lives, so.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you where, but anyways, it's like random, and it's those randomness, and it's just because, like you said, the deficiencies exist, and you know about them, and the systems are kind of on freeform. But that feeds into having that system harmonized plan, feeds into one thing I haven't heard, and we probably should, because I got a lot of complaints around it, is a traffic incident management plan. When there's major incidents in the area, especially with a city that doesn't have really an interstate or major highways through it, when something closes, how does traffic move through the city? It highlights the criticality of your traffic signal maintenance plan and getting those synchronized so you can do those on-the-fly adjustments and knob turning. And where that came from was I got a lot of complaints when Highway 93 was closed for, unfortunately, there's been a lot of fatalities out there. It's amazing how much traffic goes into Arvada to try to go up Quaker and Indiana, and it gridlocked the city. And that's our only north and southbound. So I hope through these plans that you get excited around that we also look at, well, what if? How do we do these traffic incident management plans, and how do we react to those? So I'd put that on your radar as well. And then the last thing was, you mentioned guardrail. I'm assuming when guardrails hit, we replace it, right?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that
When
one more time?
guardrail is hit, we replace it?
Yes, sir. If there's a police report that's associated with it, we can often go to insurance to refund those costs. But if there is none present, say a hit and run type situation, then yes, we go in and proactively replace it via contractors.
Guardrail, people don't know that is a safety device, and we need to make sure that it's in good repair. Otherwise, it turns into a weapon. And so I've noticed a few sitting out there for quite some months. So I just was curious if you're doing an asset management around it, how long does it take for us to get around to getting those done? But
I know that our streets team is highly responsive when it's reported.
Yeah.
There are incidences out there in the field that we may be unaware of, but we
and
try to
it's hard
get
when
on
we
it.
have Pepperdove County mixed into our honeycomb of a city when we have the county stuck in the middle of it. Some of that stuff could happen on county sides.
As part of these initial efforts with the inventory to prep for this plan, we were able to establish what's ours versus others, so that was beneficial.
Yeah, no, that's true, because it could be technically somebody else's, even though it's right there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
I see no more lights at the moment.
Then I will hand it back to Jacqueline Rhodes. Thank you.
So I'm going to talk about our last work system service, INF 9, to provide timely engagement opportunities and information about public infrastructure. I'm really proud of the work our team does with our city communications team, and I especially wanted to thank Katie Patterson, our infrastructure communications manager, for all the work she's been supporting us on. So we listed a number of different examples of the ways that we engage and educate our community, and showed some screenshots here. So everything from our Davis Lane community meetings to some of our public web pages, to really innovative things that our communications team has launched, including our Inside Arvada podcast, which I'm proud to say I've been on. I know Director Israel's been on, and the most recent one, we talk a little bit about our snow programs, and Keith Bohan is on there. So we're able to cover a variety of topics, and it's a really fun way to connect with another part of our community. I didn't want to ignore our Arvada report. We know it's one of our most referenced resources, and again, that's why we wanted to put this kind of annual report, hold ourselves accountable, and publish it there. And then, of course, the day-to-day interactions our teams are making out in the field. That there's nothing that replaces that direct contact when we can knock on a door, talk to a customer, and we do rely on our field teams and our inspectors to really lead some of that face-to-face communications that's happening on a project site or in the field. Something else I'm extremely proud of is the team's work on a strategic communication plan. And I have some materials, both screenshot in the presentation, and we have some brochures around City Hall. In 2024, the team was able to complete this work for our utilities systems. And Councilmember Davis, you'll be happy to see that stormwater has its own separate section in the plan and separate materials for us to reference. But I'm really proud of this because it's clear, plain, relatable language that both helps us no matter what team member you talk to. We're all talking from the same information, a consistent message that's responsive to the community to educate. And it's a great internal tool. We have new team members joining us all the time. It's a way for us as teams and as a director to really talk about our vision for the department, the services we provide, and ground level from the beginning through the onboarding process, what we expect of our teams. In 2025, Katie Patterson's helping us develop something very similar for Public Works. It's already underway, so I'm excited that we'll have kind of the companion document to round out all of our infrastructure to share the good work that's happening. Sharon already made a plug for this, so I won't reference it here, but of course in the Arvada report and on the webpage, we'll have that year in review available. This is the second year now, and we hope to build upon it. And then finally, I just wanted to say a thank you for tonight. You've heard a little bit about Public Works and Utilities, and as a work system, we comprise almost half the city operating budget and a third of our city workforce. Our work is very important to us, and we try and deliver it in a way that's consistent with the golden thread, or also known as just that vision that aligns down to our day-to-day work. We, of course, have more work to do to develop specific internal implementation plans through our work planning efforts that are going to get more specific about how we're advancing initiatives related to your strategic results and goals for us. But overall, the message I wanted to say tonight was thank you for your continued support. Thank you for your continued direction. We love to come up here in these workshop settings and share with you what's happening within the work system and receive that feedback so we can keep going in the right direction. Finally, this is Sharon's last meeting tonight, and I just wanted to thank Director Israel for all the work we've been able to do together. I think we've been able to set an example of collaboration across departments that really better serve all of the City Council's vision and the services that we deliver. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rhodes. Council, do you have any questions? Mayor Pro Tim Mormon, I think you are about a half second faster than Mr. Pfeiffer.
Sorry about that, Councilmember Pfeiffer. I just want to express my appreciation to the whole team. And you literally are what's holding our city together, right? When it comes to infrastructure and public works. And so I as a relatively new council member, I have been so educated by you all. And I want to particularly shout out to Sharon Israel, because I remember when I was on the Arvada Sustainability Advisory Committee, and she gave me a tour, all of us on the committee, a tour of the water treatment facility. I mean, that just blew my mind, and that was really my first introduction to understanding how the inner guts of the city work. And how literally we're holding things together by duct tape sometimes. And just how vital that work is, and the education and your leadership, Sharon, that you have walked, the previous council and this council that I've been a part of together, and understanding the needs and how we really have to take care of this system and how we do that and how we financially sustain that. And so I just so appreciate your leadership and bringing us through that educational process, because it was so vital to my understanding, at least as a council member, our role and how, again, important these services are to our citizens. So thank you so much.
Councilmember Pfeiffer.
Yeah, thank you. I love these type of readouts because it's a good check-in, and I've been kind of talking about more of those little small celebrations and talking about those successes, even if they're little or they seem minute. In the end of the day, they're huge. And reading out like this is meaningful and impactful because we don't know everything you're doing. And we know that you're doing a fantastic job, and I appreciate you all. For Sharon, I remember when you came, you were still a little green, you've matured, you are a rock star now. And, I probably put you through the ringer, a few of us put you through the ringer, but we were just getting you ready for the next big adventure. That's all we were doing to you. But what I do appreciate is the fact that you love your job. You love what you do. You're passionate for what you do. You geek out probably a little bit more than others, but that's because you love it. It's in your DNA. But if it's not something for you that doesn't help us go through that journey, we wouldn't be having those very crucial conversations we've had over the last few years, and the tough conversations around rates and the importance of infrastructure and those rates. Because, when you first brought that up, that was not an easy road to go down, but you had the perseverance to talk to us, and you and I had one-on-ones and a lot of conversations around how do we get kind of to a happy place, not a perfect place, but how do we get the trajectory in the right direction. I sent you an email with the rest council, and I told you how I felt about your next journey, and your trajectory is in the right place. You couldn't do this next job if you didn't learn some of the tough love from here in Arvada. But I know you'll be successful in your next job, and you'll be constituent of Randy. So we know we still work for you in some way or another. So good luck in your next job, and if you ever need anything, you know where home is.
Ms. Davis.
Thank you. And thank you to the team. This is really exciting. I think that there are a lot of people who don't know how the water gets to the spigot, or when they flush the toilet, where it goes, and when there's a storm or a flood, how the water is captured and conveyed and held so there aren't any flood zones. I think that it's amazing the work that you do, and I'd just like to thank this group, and also like to recognize the boots on the ground, because without those folks, none of this comes together. So I'm very excited and happy to just congratulate everyone from the top to the bottom, or what they consider the bottom. I think those are the most important people. Ones who get up, my neighbor who gets up at 6:30 every morning to head out to the shop. So I love that. Sharon, you know how excited I get about infrastructure. And so I am just thrilled for you. Our loss is another team's win. And I can't wait to see all the wonderful and great things you do into the future. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to watch you grow and bloom in your career. So thank you so much for everything you've done for us. Thank you too, Jacqueline.
Councilmember Pfeiffer, you want a second apple?
Yeah, I did, because I forgot to remind you that you have an NDA. You can't share our secret sauce on the water. It is the best water in the state, so I think somewhere in your contract, you're not allowed to talk about the ingredients on making our water. So I just want to make sure, remind you. Yeah.
I believe
No. Ours is really, it doesn't taste like Denver water. Yeah. I could tell you that much.
And it's wet, right, Ms. Stahl? It's wet water. Okay. Well, I will just quickly say, thank you so much to the team. This is a great presentation. You covered a whole lot in a very short amount of time, so thank you very much for all of your hard work, each and every one of you. You are sort of the people who keep the city running. You keep the city together, and you don't get the praise you deserve because all we ever, it's just kind of invisible. We just drive the roads, and unless, of course, there's been a storm and there's a pothole or something, but we drive the roads, we turn on the tap, the water comes out, we flush the toilet, it goes away, and we don't think about the people who actually make all of that possible. So thank you, each and every one of you, for your hard work. Another great year. I'm so proud of all of these accomplishments from all of you. And Sharon, oh my goodness, I'm going to miss you so much. Yeah, come on up, because I'm going to make you speak in a second.
Thank you.
I'm not done yet.
Okay. Oh, geez. Should I sit back down?
No, you get to stay there and accept it. So I will just say, obviously you and I have known each other for 5 years now, and over that time I've gotten to know you quite well, and I just have to say you are one of my absolute favorites. I enjoy you so much, both as a colleague and as a person. You have been a tremendous asset to this team, to this city. Your contributions have been innumerable in terms of our infrastructure and ensuring that we are well set for the future. Sometimes you've given us news we have not enjoyed hearing, but the news you need is not always the news you want. But being able to confront those needs has put us on a better path towards a more sustainable, safer future for all of our residents. So thank you for those contributions. And I know you weren't looking, this opportunity came to you and to the city of Loveland. I hate you. But congratulations, City of Loveland. You have picked up a tremendous, tremendous talent, and I know you're going to do for them everything that you did for us. And I look forward to these adventures for you. It's a very big opportunity, taking on these additional utilities, and I know you're going to thrive. So thank you. All right.
Thank you. I was not expecting to make some final remarks, but it is my last council meeting, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to serve this community. It's been home for 20 years. It's where I raised my children. Councilmember Pfeiffer, you're right. I learned a lot in my time here, and I will always be grateful for that. And it's always going to be a place of home, especially where my kids have grown up. So thank you. I have to tell you, the team is ready and will continue to provide this great service that you've come to expect from us now. I have all the confidence in the future direction that this team is headed. So thank you again for the kind words and the send-off. And I definitely hope to see you all in the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you. With that, team, do you have any additional updates? All right, seeing none, and City of Loveland, I actually do love you. You're a great town. All right, with that, we are adjourned.